Welcome back to another episode. In today's program, we're going to talk about the HSA, the Health Savings Account. See, a lot of people think that with their HSA, all they can do is draw from it throughout the year to pay for medical expenses. A lot of people aren't thinking about the fact that they can use the HSA with triple the tax benefits to be able to invest in real estate partnerships, private equity, and all sorts of alternative investments and public market investments, and leverage compounding interest in the absence of taxation. That's what we're going to talk about in this episode and much more, all centered around the HSA. In fact, I'll even share with you a case study where Mark and Alison, who are equity trust clients, utilized their HSA to invest in an apartment building project, and they made a 30% annualized return on investment, growing their HSA tax-free to be able to use that account tax-free for their future medical-related expenses. Let's get started. Before we do, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that way we can alert you to all of our upcoming content. Let's explore how Mark and Alison invested $20,000 from their HSA and made $18,000 in profit in less than 3 years. They came across a commercial real estate opportunity, which was an apartment building project. Their HSA was a limited partner in an investment LLC. They weren't the general partner or the operator. Their HSA was simply a passive limited partner. In less than 3 years, the apartment building was rehabbed and sold, and upon the sale, they made $18,000 in profit, which went back into their HSA. So again, a lot of people think that with an HSA, all you can do is invest in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. But as you're starting to hear, with an HSA like Mark and Alison, you're able to put that money to good use, investing in assets like real estate. So in less than 3 years, they made a 90% return on investment. If you annualize that, that's a 30% annualized return on investment. Now, Mark and Alison, they're not going to stop there. Their goal is to continue to rinse, repeat, reload, and reinvest that HSA money into more apartment building opportunities, more real estate investment opportunities. In fact, their goal is to get to a 200% return on investment. Now, let's transition to education. So how did this all start? Well, Mark and Alison, they started educating themselves on this concept of being able to use an HSA to invest in real estate and other alternative investments. See, they, like many other people, and like many of you that are on this video right now, you didn't know that an HSA could be used to self-direct into real estate and other opportunities. So the first step of the process is to transition an existing HSA into a self-directed HSA. Or for some of you, you'll establish an HSA and start making contributions. See, one of the things that Mark and Alison, they didn't think about as they were going through this whole education journey is that an HSA has what's called triple the tax advantages or triple the tax benefits. See, your contributions to the HSA are tax deductible, you have tax-free growth, and then when you withdraw the funds from the HSA to pay for medical-related expenses, you pay 0% tax. So, folks, you don't get that with a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, right? A traditional IRA or Roth IRA, you're tax deferred, or with a Roth, you have to get the taxes out of the way when you contribute, and then you have tax-free growth. With an HSA, you're getting tax deductions going in, you're getting tax-free growth, and you're getting tax-free distributions. Now, there's another thing that Mark and Alison learned about when they started educating themselves on HSAs, and that is rather than following the model of withdrawing from the HSA every year to pay for medical-related expenses, instead what they could do is save their medical receipts. And then at a future date, after they've compounded tax-free growth over many years, they could then withdraw from the HSA to reimburse themselves for previous year's medical-related expenses. So as you can hear with Mark and Alison, it's all about getting the foundational education on how an HSA works and how you can maximize the profitability. Mark and Alison's success was all made possible by understanding the full potential of their HSA. So now let's dive into what makes an HSA such a powerful financial tool. First, what is an HSA? It stands for Health Savings Account, and it's a tax advantage savings account that's designed to help individuals with high deductible healthcare plans save and pay for qualified healthcare related expenses. Now, while its primary use is to cover healthcare costs, an HSA has another hidden superpower. See, it can be used as an investment vehicle. Unlike a flexible savings account or FSA, an HSA actually gives you the ability to grow your contributions through investments in traditional assets like stocks and bonds and mutual funds. But then you could also go beyond those types of traditional investments and you can invest in alternative assets like private equity or real estate or various other alternative investments like Mark and Alison, who use their HSA to invest in a real estate project. So now let's talk about why use an HSA. Well, HSAs offer unparalleled flexibility and benefits that make them stand out from other accounts. Now, an IRA, like a Roth and traditional, those are powerful. Solo 401ks, 401ks, those are powerful tools as well. But here's why an HSA really stands out. Long-term savings. Any unused funds can roll over year. So it's not like an FSA, a flex savings account, where it's a use it or lose it type of plan. An HSA will go with you, even when you no longer have a high deductible healthcare plan. As long as you have cash in the HSA, you can continue to compound interest in the absence of taxes, and you can continue to grow that account and use it for medical-related expenses. Investment opportunities. With a self-directed HSA, you're not limited to just saving and putting your money into public market investments or keeping it in cash. You can invest in alternative assets like private equity, real estate, precious metals, and much more. And that could potentially help you as an individual make better returns, providing that you do all of your due diligence. Healthcare and beyond. See, while the funds are intended for healthcare expenses, after the age of 65, you're going to learn that you can actually withdraw from the HSA for non-medical expenses penalty-free. See, if you take the money out of the HSA prior to 65 and you don't use it for medical-related expenses, you're going to have a 20% penalty and or near income taxes. Once you turn 65, you can withdraw for non-medical related expenses. You're not going to have the 20% penalty. You're just going to have taxes. So think of it like a traditional IRA at that point. And remember, triple the tax advantages. So your contributions to the HSA, you get a tax deduction, you have tax-free growth, and then you have tax-free distributions, providing that you're using it for medical-related expenses. Now, I mentioned these superpowers, if you will. Another really important superpower to think about is the reimbursement provision. See, a lot of people don't know that they could, with their HSA that they have now, they incur a medical expense today. Instead of taking money from the HSA to pay for that medical expense, like most people do, save the receipt. You don't get a deduction for it this year. Your HSA continues to grow tax-free. And then in the future, after you've experienced compounding interest in the absence of taxation for many, many years, growing the account, you can then reimburse yourself for that previous year healthcare-related expense. That can be a super powerful tool to consider. All right, we mentioned tax-deductible contributions. Every dollar you contribute to your HSA is tax-deductible, thus lowering your taxable income for that year. This upfront savings is immediate. So think you have more dollars that you have now to be able to spend and invest as needed. You then have, as we talked about, tax-free growth. And what can you do with the HSA in terms of investing? You can invest in private equity, real estate. You could also invest in public market investments like mutual funds, ETFs, individual stocks. We call this here at Equity Trust the Universal IRA or the Universal HSA, the ability to be able to invest in both public and private market investments. Now, tax-free withdrawals, I talked about that. Distributing money from the HSA and paying for medical-related expenses and paying 0% tax. In terms of eligible expenses, you can go directly to the IRS website and you can pull the IRS publication that will describe for you what are the eligible healthcare-related expenses. But just think, anything that's prescribed by a doctor, prescription medication, doctor's visits, things of that nature, right? And you want to be careful that you're not doing things that you shouldn't be doing with the HSA, of course. You need to make sure you understand the rules and the guidelines, the prohibited transaction rules associated with investing with the HSA account. So in conclusion, as you're starting to learn about the HSA with these triple tax benefits and the ability combined with the triple tax benefits to be able to invest in private equity and real estate opportunities and other types of alternative investments based on leveraging your knowledge and expertise, this can be really, really powerful to meet your financial goals. And you have a ton of flexibility with the HSA to be able to self-direct and be able to use the funds when you see fit. Now, I talked a little bit about some of the rules and some of the guidelines associated with utilizing HSAs and investing HSAs. So you'll find in the comments section or in the description section that we have a special code where you can get a discount for our course where we talk all about the rules and the guidelines of self-directing an IRA or self-directing an HSA. I hope you enjoyed today's session. A big thank you to Mark and Alison for submitting their case study to us where they invested $20,000 and made $18,000 in their HSA for a 30% annualized return on investment. Until the next session, keep focusing on compounding interest in the absence of taxation. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right here so you never miss out on new content. And if you're ready to dive deeper, check out our other videos and resources right here.